Welcome to Inspiring Histories, where ancient secrets and biblical mysteries come to life. What if the story of the world's first faith is not what we've been told? Before Abraham, before Moses, before the Torah itself, was there an ancient religion that shaped the beliefs we now call biblical truth? A forgotten faith whispered in lost scriptures, hinted at in archaeological ruins, and obscured by time. Could it be that the Torah was not the beginning, but the continuation of something far older? Ancient myths, hidden inscriptions, and forbidden texts suggest that long before the rise of monotheism, a mysterious spiritual tradition ruled the ancient world, one that vanished without a trace, or was it erased? What secrets were buried? What knowledge was lost? And most importantly, why? This is a mystery few dare to question, but today we break the silence. Welcome to the forbidden mystery of the lost faith before the Torah. What if everything we thought we knew about the origins of monotheism was only half the story? We've been told that Abraham was the first to hear the voice of the one true God, that he rejected the idols of his ancestors and established a new covenant, one that would shape the future of Israel and eventually the entire world. But scattered throughout the ancient scriptures lie whispers of something older, a faith that existed before Abraham, a lost spiritual order erased from history. Could it be that Abraham didn't create something new, but rather restored something ancient? The Bible itself offers tantalizing clues. Genesis 14 verses 18 to 20, long before Moses, before the temple, before the Levitical priesthood, appears an enigmatic figure. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed Abram, saying, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. Melchizedek, a priest of a divine order before Israel even existed. But who was he? The mystery deepens. In Genesis 5 verse 24, we find another shadowy figure, Enoch. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Enoch is one of the few biblical figures who never tasted death. But why? The ancient book of Enoch, a text banned from the biblical canon, speaks of a divine knowledge that was given to him, a forbidden wisdom hidden from mankind. And then we come to Noah. Genesis calls him a righteous man, perfect in his generations. But perfect according to what standard? The Torah hadn't been given yet. The 10 Commandments didn't exist. And yet Noah was chosen. And so we must go further, back to the shadows of history, to uncover the lost faith before the Torah. In Hebrews 7 verse 3, we find a chilling description. Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abides a priest continually. A priesthood that has no beginning and no end. Could it be that Melchizedek belonged to an ancient divine order, one that was established before Abraham, before Israel, before the very concept of God's chosen people? And if so, what happened to it? In Genesis 11, we read of a time when the whole earth was of one language and one speech. A unified people, a single belief system. Then they built the Tower of Babel, a structure so ambitious, so daring that it provoked divine intervention. Let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Genesis 11 verse 7. Why was the Tower of Babel such a threat? Was it merely arrogance? Or Or were they attempting to preserve a knowledge that was not meant to survive? Some scholars suggest that this event was not just a punishment, but a deliberate erasure of an ancient order, a severing of the connection between humanity and the forgotten. Then there is Job, a man outside of the Israelite covenant, yet he speaks to the same God. Job's story predates Moses, predates Abraham, and yet he worships, sacrifices, and follows divine laws without the Torah. How did he know? Where did his knowledge of righteousness come from? If Job was righteous before the commandments, then righteousness itself must have had an older source, a spiritual order that didn't begin with Israel, but existed long before. In the depths of ancient texts, we find a recurring theme: certain beings, entities, or even humans who possessed divine knowledge and were punished for it. The Book of Enoch, a text cast out from the biblical canon, tells of the Watchers, angels who descended to earth and shared forbidden secrets with mankind. And they taught them charms and enchantments, the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Enoch 7:1-2. This knowledge, astronomy, metallurgy, writing, and even medicine, was not meant for human hands. It was considered too powerful, too dangerous. And so the Watchers were cast down, their wisdom was declared forbidden, and those who sought it condemned. Could this be the fate of the ancient faith before the Torah? The Great Flood is one of the most dramatic events in biblical history. Genesis tells us that humanity had grown corrupt, wicked, unredeemable. But the question remains, why? Why was the world before the flood so dangerous that it had to be wiped clean? Some ancient traditions suggest that before the deluge, the world was not just sinful, it was different, a time of advanced knowledge, supernatural beings, and lost civilizations, a time when the remnants of the Pre-Torah faith still thrived. But after the flood, the world was reset. Knowledge was lost. The old ways were erased. And then a man named Abraham emerges, a man chosen not to restore the past, but to build something new. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. Genesis 12. To break away from the past. Could it be that he was called to sever ties with the ancient order that came before? A new covenant was established, a new faith built from the ashes of the old. For generations we've been taught that divine law began with Moses, etched into stone on Mount Sinai, the 10 Commandments, the covenant, the foundation of Israel's faith. But was it truly the beginning, or merely a continuation of something far older? The Torah itself acknowledges it, a set of laws older than Sinai, known as the 7 laws of Noah. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them. Genesis 9 verses 1-7. 7 commandments given not to Israel, but to the entire world, a universal law of morality, justice, and righteousness. But here's the mystery: why is this law rarely spoken of? Why does history emphasize the laws of Moses, while the older divine code fades into obscurity? Was it because the ancient faith was meant for all, but the new covenant was meant for a chosen few? Was the old order deliberately overshadowed? If a divine order existed before Abraham, then why are its records so scarce? The Book of Enoch tells of a time when heavenly wisdom was revealed to mankind, secrets of the cosmos, mysteries of creation, but the book was cast out, declared too dangerous for the biblical canon. The Book of Jubilees speaks of a world before Israel, a world where angels taught divine laws to humanity. Yet it too was removed. What did these texts reveal? What truths were deemed forbidden? And most importantly, who decided they should be hidden? History has shown us one undeniable truth: when knowledge is too powerful, it is either controlled or it is destroyed. But what if some refuse to let it die? Some believe that the remnants of this lost faith still exist, that fragments of it were carried through secret traditions, through hidden teachings, through those who refused to let it be erased. Could it be that this ancient wisdom survived outside of the mainstream faith? That it lived on in whispered traditions, in forbidden texts, in the hands of those who knew its power? If so, who were these keepers of the secret? Were they protectors of a sacred truth? Or were they hunted because they carried a knowledge that was never meant to be known? Long before the rise of Israel, long before the Torah, civilizations flourished: the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Babylonians. They built towering ziggurats, inscribed sacred texts, and spoke of divine laws, laws that in many ways resemble the moral codes found in the Torah. Where did these ideas come from? Could they be echoes of a faith that once united mankind before it was divided? The Sumerians, one of the earliest known civilizations, spoke of a mysterious assembly of deities that governed the world. But among these gods, there was one supreme figure, a deity above all others known as Anu, the Most High, a striking similarity to El Elyon, the God Most High of the Bible. Could this be a distorted memory of the same divine presence? A remnant of the Pre-Torah faith passed down in fragments, reshaped by time? And if so, how much of their knowledge was lost when their empire fell? Egypt, the land of the pharaohs, a civilization that worshipped many gods. And yet, there was a moment in history when one pharaoh defied tradition. Akhenaten did something unheard of. He abandoned polytheism and commanded his people to worship a single god, Aten, the solar deity. Was this an isolated event? Or was Akhenaten trying to restore something older, something that had been long forgotten? His revolution did not last. After his death, Egypt erased his legacy. His temples were destroyed, his name struck from history. Was this merely politics? Or was it a deliberate suppression of an ancient truth? Each of these ancient cultures carried whispers of a belief system older than any written scripture, a Most High God, a divine law before Moses, a priesthood that predates Israel. But as history moved forward, the old ways faded, the records disappeared, the knowledge was lost. The deeper we search, the more questions arise. Ancient civilizations carried fragments of a forgotten faith, traces of a divine order that existed long before the Torah. Was it lost naturally to time? Or was it deliberately erased, hidden from those who were never meant to know? We may never uncover the full truth, but the evidence is compelling. What do you think? Could these ancient texts and lost traditions be revealing something deeper? Is there a hidden spiritual order that predates everything we've been told? Let us know in the comments. Your thoughts may be the key to unlocking the mystery. Because perhaps somewhere out there, the answers still exist, waiting to be discovered.